Hey everybody, it's Thursday.
And welcome to this week's edition of The Night Bite.
I'm Josh.
And I'm Emily. And we are here tonight to talk all about, I guess, all the good stuff to come.
Yeah,
we are we're right on the edge of show and expo season. But the thing about that is that's there to kind of show off all those new products. And some of those we are here to talk about tonight.
Yeah, so I'm just over here clicking away. I'm gonna pull up some stuff later. So as Emily brings it up, like usual, we have no script. We don't know what we're gonna be talking about, only except it will be about new stuff and whatever other topics happen to come up. Hey Ray, how's it going? Thanks for joining us. Yeah, so we went out fishing last weekend, so we'll get back into the report side of things. And it was slow. You know, we had we had a major cold and then warmed right up. Hey Kent, hey Jacob. And you know, it's weird because you'd think like, oh, you know, if it's gonna warm up, it'll turn the fish on, and perhaps for some of you, maybe in the rivers and stuff, maybe that's helped. I know a lot of you guys are probably dealing with a lot of low water. All of us are dealing with a lot of clear water, so that always makes stuff difficult because we haven't had that much rain. But you know, our temps are kind of all over the place. It ranged from, you know, mid to low 50s to mid to high 40s. So it was kind of crazy. We did a lot of vertical jigging, got the Vexilar out in the boat, got some short rods in the boat, and might have just cursed myself.
You know, I think this fall has been irregular though. And I feel like, you know, we're always talking about, oh, the weather pattern's crazy. The weather pattern's crazy. And, you know, I mean, right now though, I mean, it should be colder than it is. I don't know.
Yeah.
According to my Facebook memories, I mean, we often have the boat put away by this point.
Put away? Well, sometimes.
Yeah.
You know, not too long ago, we were out on the Wolf River. Excuse me. We were out on the Wolf River on November 15th. And that's not even going to be close to happening, even though we've moved a half an hour, 40 minutes north. So, you know, it just is what it is. We got some good boat trips left. We got a trip out to Sioux Falls coming up. So, you know, it's...
Well, and I guess that's why, like, on my Facebook, I keep posting, like, one more weekend of boats. Okay, and I know that for some of you, you have more than that. And especially the people south of us, you have maybe way more than that. Unfortunately, you know, we want ice season to be here. But, I mean, I think we do have this weekend, and now it's supposed to be all kinds of rainy. But then after that, what is it, the weekend of the 11th? Can you pull up a calendar quick?
I can. Just a calendar?
Yeah. The weekend of the 11th, November 11th, is when we leave for Sioux Falls, South Dakota. So it is the Ice Anglers Ice Anglers Institute. Put on by Dakota Angler. That's what I was thinking.
Dakota Angler Ice Institute.
I always say it backwards, and I always feel so terrible because whatever. But we will be in Sioux Falls. And actually, we are going to be spending most of the weekend at the Razor Ice Augers booth. Could not be more excited about that because there is tons of new stuff coming up there. And we'll talk about that, but not yet. The other place we're going to be, what's that next weekend? There we go.
The Hardwater Expo in Blaine, Minnesota. So that's always a fun little show. Little just being the venue is a little bit small, but it's not little as far as the participants. There's lots and lots of vendors there. It's a good preview to the St. Paul Ice Expo a couple of weekends after that. And you know, it's hit or miss. These two ice expos, they can be super cold or they can be super nice, and it looks like we'll probably get some, you know, barring a bunch of rain events, you know, it looks like we'll get some nice weather. So hey Jose.
So we'll see how it goes, but like I said, our weekends are, and you know, sometimes we fish on the weekday, but even the nighttime, like it's getting dark so early these days. It's like we get out there and then you either got to be like there in for the night bite or you got to get off. It just happens so fast. So anyways, let us know how the bite is by you guys. Let us know how fishing is going. Let us know,
Kevin,
I guess,
what's up?
Any of what's going on by you guys. But we are going to move on to shows. So should we start even with Razor? Because we said that we were working that booth.
Sure.
Yeah. So
we can
Sioux
pull up
Falls,
Razor.
that's where you'll find us, is with Razor. And one of the most exciting things, well, I guess I'll start with this. Razor ice augers, they are a fabulous auger. They've always had that full metal flighting on that auger. And that's one of the things that lends to the durability. Just the whole thing is great, but people have been asking, and I guess the market is evolving, and people have wanted synthetic. Oh, you almost just left the studio. That scared me.
No, I didn't.
But people have wanted synthetic flighting, and so that is what's out this year.
Yeah, so we'll just hey, how about that? You guys like that view? You don't get to see Emily's lovely face, but
yeah. Right.
Here we go. So here's the Razor, the Razor iceauger.com. Hey, look it's our buddy
Brosdahl.
So yeah, there's some new stuff out, and it's really awesome because they've made some cool tweaks, and it'll be our first time.
So we started talking about one of the synthetic ones. So click on that. We'll show people what that looks like.
Which one? The Ultra or the synthetic light?
Let's go to the light. A lot of people are looking to hook this up to their drill and all of that because that's a really easy way to go these days. And so we have this lighter synthetic auger. The nice thing about it is you still have that center point. You still have those curved blade. All the great things that you come to know and love about Razor, but all packaged up into, a whole lot lighter package, just kind of like what people are looking for these days.
Yeah. So, I mean, you got pretty much, an industry standard design. There's a few touches that make it a little bit more unique to Razor. But the thing is that nobody else has this specific bit, and so this one is what you're getting with the Razor, and it's what I love about it is just that it almost pulls into the ice like those old ice augers that we used to use, like the old ones.
It shaves it just smooth and fast and easy. And that's the thing is some people, a chipper blade is for you. If you're opening old holes and stuff all the time, then that is great. And Razor offers that as well. But that curved blade, when you set it down and it makes more of like a snow cone. And the nice thing about that is that, especially when we're out fishing panfish, and sometimes those fish, you got to drill like right over them or whatever, a bunch of holes. And if you have something that's really loud, ripping the ice up, that's gonna, affect those fish. They're gonna hear that. I'm not saying that this is silent, because it is an auger. You have to drill through ice. But when you have that smooth shave, when you're making that snow cone, it's a lot more like shh versus like. I guess that's ridiculous to try to, describe. But you know what that chipper blade sounds like, just crushing that ice, and this is just not that.
Yeah. So just if you guys are just showing up, we're just talking a little bit about some new stuff. We started the show talking about fishing. We got some people chiming in here. The Fox River down by where we used to live is on fire yet.
Don't tell me that, because we don't have a river around here. Yeah, and I haven't brought that up.
Ray's down in Madison catching some awesome gills. So there is some good bites to be had. It just by us. I don't know. It just is new water, and that's the best part about moving to a new place or trying new places is that you really have to engage those bodies of water again instead of like hitting your old spots and knowing you have to go learn. And that's one of my favorite parts. So yeah. Oh, here we got an awesome auger comment from Eric. Best auger I've ever used. Optimistic when we sold it to Eric at Milwaukee. That was a while ago, actually. So you have some years on that auger.
That's awesome.
And there's nothing better. And really, what we don't ever like. We're glad that we sold it to Eric because it was awesome getting to talk to you and getting to like chat to you about fishing. But we really try not to sell products. We try to sell our experience. And because we like to use...
It is about selling the product, but it's about letting the product sell itself. That's the thing is like, what it comes down to is we're fishing, like anglers, that's the thing. And so like, I mean, an auger is one of those things that helps you get out there. Honestly, if you're ice fishing, what else are you going to do? Like chip your way through? That's going to be ridiculous. Like, no, and so, I mean, to get to be an efficient angler, you have to have efficient products. And so, to be able to share our experience, that is what.
Well, and that's what I'm
is
saying
there.
is like we like to sell our experience, and our experience is with the products that we use.
Yeah.
And so if it helps us do a good job,
Yeah.
hopefully it helps you. And that's not always the case for everybody, and that's great because there's lots of cool stuff out there to be had.
Well, okay. And so, full disclosure, I have to say, I haven't even gotten to use a synthetic razor yet. We talk about the curved blades, we talk about that center point, we talk about some of these other fabulous features. But I'm going to be so honest, when we had the opportunity last year to go up there, I was sick. So we could not go, we could not make it. And so that is part of why I am so excited is, going to these shows and expos. This is going to be one of those first for me as well. So I cannot wait to see that. And I do know that the Ultra also comes in the 40 volt.
Well, so the Ultra is made for the power heads. And so that's the awesome thing here is that you don't have to buy a whole brand new auger. If you have the Razor power head from an old 40 volt from an old 40 volt, then you'll be able to attach this right to there. What?
Go up one
right there. I had that clicked.
Oh, I thought that was the power head.
So this is one of the differences that the Ultra has, and that you get on your that you get on the power augers with the power head is you get the serrated blades, and so that comes standard with that. They'll also fit on the light, but with the light you usually get just a straight blade and it shaves a little bit more. This is like a hybrid shave chipper. Both work great. I don't have a preference. I guess if I was going to say anything, I probably would lean more towards the serrated blade if I'm out, western Minnesota, the Dakotas, just because there's a little bit more soil drift out in those areas. Up by us, we have lots of trees, and so we don't get a whole lot of dirt and stuff on our ice. Our ice stays pretty clean. Yeah. So I like having the straight blades. They cut really fast, but so do the serrated blades. I'm just saying that it's just a preference. But like what I was saying before is you can pick this flighting up for $180. So you don't have to spend another $500. They're offering this as a replacement to the metal one. So you have a metal one, if you're going, if you know that you're going somewhere and it's either going to be really cold, like -30, or if you're going somewhere where it's going to take a lot of abuse, you can put that metal one back on. But if you're walking around drilling a bunch of holes, you're driving out in the truck and stuff, maybe you can just put the plastic, the synthetic one on. And so it just
don't let in their cocks here. You
I'm sorry, Nick. I didn't mean to say it, but you can put the synthetic one on. It is different. I don't want to sell it like that, but it's a good for $180. I know. I don't know. It just is a great option to have.
Mm-hmm. Well, and talking about options, if that is not your style, if you are, really rough and rugged, you're going to toss this around in your sled or who knows what or whatever. There's a lot of people that do still prefer that steel flighting. And so, I mean, now that is still the option. And so when you look at that, we have, all the size ranges of what you want: a 4, a 5, a 6, 7, 8, 10.
Hey, Danny.
There's like whatever kind of auger you want, like.
Yeah, so I mean, right now, I know that the Razor Scout, that's pretty much my favorite auger, and that comes in a 4-inch up to an 8-inch, 1-inch increments. That's pretty awesome. And then you have, I think the synthetic light comes in a 6 and an 8 right now, and then with the power auger, those come in a 5, 6, 8, 10.
Oh, I didn't even know that there was a 5. Oh, I just learned something. That's awesome.
So that's a really diverse group of flight. And then to top it all off, just so you guys know, the Pro Curve blades, the curve blades, and they don't have them on here right now, so they might not be in stock. But the Pro Curve blades are the serrated, and then the curve blades. So those two will fit on your Strike Master augers. Just so you know, a direct replacement. It'll fit. So if you're looking for, look at this, $40.
Yeah.
Awesome. And it's always wise to have a replacement set of blades because
people like to throw rocks on the ice to check depth. Ice thickness, I meant. First of all, don't do that. And maybe that'll be a whole other show because that is something I will get on a soapbox. Do not throw rocks on the ice. We hit a dang rock. And it's like, I mean, it'll happen to any blade, no matter how good of a blade you have. That's the thing. It could be like a tiny little rock. Like, why would somebody throw that out there? Or how did that get there? Maybe it was stuck to somebody's snowmobile. Like, who knows? But it's amazing how much that little chunk out of your blade can really affect your drilling. So that's the thing, though, is we can talk augers all night. And so I'm gonna just say, like, if you have more questions, pop your auger questions into the comment section.
Any questions. Yeah.
Or come and see us at one of the shows. We were talking about being in Sioux Falls. We were talking about being in Minnesota twice. And if you are not there, then tell us where you are, and we'll see if our schedule takes us out there.
Yeah. Look at Danny's never been ice fishing, so he needs good advice on equipment.
And post your favorites in there.
And he likes what we're showing so far. But yeah, if you guys have favorite stuff, give Danny some help. That's what we're here for. Rocks.
Oh my gosh. BAC,
yeah,
we miss you.
We do.
Unless it's like rock piles, then keep track of those because that's different, Way up earlier in the comments, I think it was Jay had asked, because we were talking about being at the Razor booth for Sioux Falls, and he said, "What? No Striker?" And actually, this is actually a really cool thing, is that Striker is doing a really good job this year, and I think moving forward, of being intentional about having some of their local people at these shows. There are some really cool people on staff that live in that Sioux Falls or the Dakotas type area. And so to have those people to be able to come in and join the shows and talk to those local fishermen about their, that's always just good, is to meet your local people. So it also gives us the opportunity. Oh my gosh. Yeah. Post them if you got them. But it just gives us the opportunity to be at other booths like Razor. So there's some fabulous people at Striker, and I'm sure that we'll stop there as well, because how could we not? But I guess with that being said, there's some new Striker stuff out this year.
Yeah, we could go touch on that. Let's go there. Oh,
yeah. Okay, well, let's start right at that very top.
Yeah.
Like, go up more. Yeah, right there. Okay, so very, very, very new for this year. And honestly, this is not the suit for me, but it is something I'm so excited to talk about, because people so often come up to us and say, like, I run really hot. I don't need that warm of a suit. It's great that you have warm options, but I'm looking for, the other features that Striker brings. So the Predator Light Bib is the answer to that. It has that wonderful windproof and the waterproof and the knee pads and the flow capability without being bulky, but it is a light version of a suit. This is for people who run hot, people who run maybe on, if you're a tournament, you're running gun, you're drilling holes all over the place. Like I said, it is not the suit for me, but we get this question all the time. So that is actually a very, very exciting thing to have out this year.
Yeah, very cool. And we're getting some
we'll get to some of these questions. Yeah. Baits and hand warmers. Actually, these are fabulous questions. We'll get there in a minute. Hang tight with us. And Kurt, I love my Striker suit, but honestly, it's almost too warm. first of all, make sure that you're using those side zippers for the ventilation and all of that. And if that is something that you are already doing, then I would urge you to check out a Predator Light bib for sure.
Yeah. So for our lady friends, they have some updates on some new suits and some new colors. They also have a women's Renegade, which if you any of you are Striker fans and know anything about the Renegade line for men, I got mine in July and I ordered it last fall. That's how hot they were. Like, people wanted those and they are awesome. I finally got mine. And Emily's now waiting for hers. So next July she'll be able to try hers. No, I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. It's
early
there.
November.
Yeah,
I guess
it's coming.
I guess it is still early November right now, so it's coming really soon.
Oh.
Yeah, Renegade jacket. I cannot wait for that. And then there's that picture right below Darren. I don't know, right? That's Darren? Who knows? His face is kind of cut off. But Jay is saying the Apex needs to be made in black. I think that's one of the things about the Apex, though, is the suit itself is intentionally set apart from the others because it is made so different. And so, like, personally, like, I prefer a black suit, and so I hear you, Jay. But I think because the technology of that suit is so much different from the others, they created a pattern that was different than the others.
Yeah, so they're kind of with everything going on last year. They had a bunch of new releases that were kind of put on the back burner just because the timing of it was just poor, not on Striker's part, but just how the whole shipping thing was going. We all heard about the shipping thing, so there's still not everybody got to see any of this stuff because it took a long time to get in. So they made some updates in a lot of the women's line, actually. They brought some good stuff and, added some colors, added obviously the new apparel stuff. I kind of like the new hats. I'm a beanie guy.
Can you go all the way up to the top for a second, just on the suits? One of the things that I think we are able to sit here and talk about, like, oh, this looks cool, or this or that function. But I think one of the best things that the safety aspect of the suits. So obviously, there's a lot of companies out that have the float technology these days. But the reason that I personally love the Striker suits the best is because I don't often wear the jacket. There's those bitter cold days where you need it, but I'm often just wearing the bibs in different layers underneath. And so with Striker, it does only take the one piece to be considered safe. So make sure, whatever company you go with, whatever suit you go with, just make sure that you know what those safety requirements are. Because if it says wearing your bibs and jacket, then that's something that you're really going to need for that float technology to exist.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, for sure. And, there's other cool stuff, cool features besides the float, because all the suits have the SureFloat assist. But like the women's Prism, they did a little bit of a redesign. It still has the back that comes down for the ladies. And it wasn't a couple of years ago, we actually sold a couple to dudes.
Okay, honestly, the number of dudes that come to the booth and tell us that they want to take a dump, is that an appropriate way? Can I say that on the show? I don't know, that's the words that they always use. I need to go out there and take a dump. I understand that you were out there that long, or the ice camping thing, or whatever, but yeah, we've actually sold some Prism bibs to dudes, and I think that's cool because it is an all black suit, and so who's to say whatever fits you best is going to be best. I guess another thing that's great about that is the technology in the suits is the same. And so when we talk about, the supreme warmth and the windproof and the waterproof and padded knees, those are all features that transition over to these women's bibs. It's not just the feature of the men's bibs these days.
Mm-hmm. So for
sitting down, who knows, Brian? Who knows? It's cold out there. You do what you got to do.
Yeah, so that's that one for you, Brian. That was if Cindy wants to look them up, it's the Prism bib.
Well, and there's also a Prism pant.
Yeah, it's just not in the new.
It's just, yeah, well,
I'm-
that's true.
Wait, you want to
There's
go
all
through
kinds of options.
the whole thing?
No, I can't. We can't. We can't.
have
And that's what we
so
said
many
about
things
Razor.
here.
Yeah, there's so many
Yeah.
other things. You know, if you want to know more about Striker, we're here all the time to talk about it. So I guess
Yeah.
like hit us up. Is there anything I was gonna say, is there anything else amazing that we need to talk about there? Probably. I mean, that's the thing, is everyone likes something different. So maybe go to the website
Ryan.
and check it out.
Before they go away, I'm going to show you something here.
Oh yeah, on the sales section.
Sales section. Where are they? Oh, no.
No, it's
Did
go to
they-
page 2. You just passed.
Did I pass?
Go to page 2.
I- There you go. If you guys want some awesome ice fishing pants, I wear these under my bibs all the time. They have waterproof knees. They have a little side pocket. They have, one of my favorite things is they have a belt loop. They have the waterproof knees, and I can put my wallet in there. There you go. So, looks like they have all the sizes available still, down from 89 to 45. So there you go. Try it, Ryan. I just bought a second pair. I bought it.
Okay, so
Let's see. Let's go back up.
Kevin was asking a few times about baits, so
Okay.
let's start there. And BAC, stick with us because I have not blown you off about
No,
these hand warmers
we're
yet, because
gonna-
I have
we're gonna
favorite
hit
hand
all
warmers
of
that I
these.
love to talk about. Yeah.
Um,
Sorry, our screen is flashing. We gotta work on this background. Like,
Yeah.
it's like a
I don't
lighting
know.
thing, or who knows?
Who knows? Oh, you got me all distracted now.
We don't make her lures.
There we go. All right. So you're talking to a couple of pan fishermen, and here is what we use. We'll go through. Kevin will go through and try a few different things. You know, we love running. We love running the snare rods from JT with just basically a hook, a split shot, just like you would on a bobber rig, but just put it on the snare rod. We love putting those out. I do like doing a few hard bait things, but really, honestly, I would say probably 80% of both of, at least my fishing, and probably 90% of Emily's fishing is jigs and plastics.
Well, and those metallics, even I love.
All the
What are
metallics
What
are
are the
awesome.
disco ball ones? Is that what it's
Oh,
called, or
yeah.
that's what I call them?
No,
I should know that.
You should know that.
It,
I've had you.
oh, right there.
Yeah,
It is called the disco ball. Oh, thank God. Click it.
I'm working on it. Holy smokes.
Oh my gosh, but that's how excited I get about this jig, because that is the thing, is it has that super small profile. It is a tungsten jig, but it just reflects light in just the way, I mean, I guess a disco, it's not as bright as a disco ball, like trust me, that's but it just has that great quality. And it's just, there's a lot of sizes. I could leave that gold hook on my line like all winter and be happy.
Yeah, so then what else? One of my favorites that I don't know, I've always just gravitated to it, are these dragonflies.
Oh, yeah.
I really do like these. I think it's just kind of a horizontal spoon almost.
Yeah, like click. Yeah.
So I don't know.
Oh, that's like upside down though.
Yeah, that's upside down.
Scroll up
Where?
so you can.
Oh.
There you go. It's cut off. I'm watching. Don't worry.
Yeah,
Yeah, see, those are upside down.
Yeah, so it's like a horizontal spoon. I don't know. They have a bunch of great colors. I just really like them. I really like some of my favorite colors are the 21, 22, 29, 30, and
All of them. That's the problem.
probably 31. If I was going to pick the 4, those would probably be my 4. 5. 4. 5.
Who knows? Just
So
get one of them all. And that's the problem, is because if you do come to an expo, if you do see the Widowmaker booth, it is
it's
go
ridiculous.
and look up one of our videos on YouTube, because it is like a candy store. You just, and there's like little bags on the table. You can dig through all of them, pick out the sizes, and like these are hand painted. And so that's the thing. Let's say you pick out any of these, and then you're like, oh, I want one with a little bit more lines on it, or less lines, or more dots, or less dots. Because that's the thing, is each one, although there is consistency across the line, like if you order what you see online, you will get exactly like that, but that's the thing, is each one, like I said, hand done, and they just have their own character. So that is super fun to look at.
So these came out last year, I think.
It might have been 2 years ago now.
It might have been 2 years ago.
These are, this came out last year. Yeah.
Yeah. So these are some that I really like to play around with, especially because I like using bigger plastics a lot of the time. And it's kind of a weird thing. So I like using bigger plastics and smaller jig heads. And the problem with that is that it takes a long time to drop. Well, they fix that by putting the weight almost like a nail weight, but it's just integrated into the jig head. And so this is all tungsten. And so then you can slip it in the body of, and then you still get the small head profile, but getting the extra weight. And so I really do like that for a little bit deeper water applications and the bigger, some of the bigger baits. So I can use more of the plastic bait profile than I do have to use the jig profile. That's one that I really like using. The other one that I'm really excited to use, more so for our snare rods, is the tungsten shrimp. So this is new this year, but it's just like that the old teardrops that we used to use, that everyone used for crappie fishing. You hook a minnow on this, and you just let it flutter around down there, and you get the colors. They all glow, and that's awesome. The thing is that these are going to be a little bit smaller, have a little bit more hook, but have the same amount of weight. And so it'll hold your bait a little bit more central under the hole. And I think it's going to be pretty lights out for doing that type of fishing, me personally. Emily was using them to do some vertical jigging, and she had some success. And so even, you can do the vertical horizontal combo where you just, you hook the bait, you hook the bait on the hook. And so it's horizontal this way, but your bait is going like this. You can do that. You can just thread it on there and have it straight up and down. Sometimes they like that because they're looking up, and then that's a smaller profile that they're seeing instead of having that horizontal profile. They're just seeing whatever is underneath. So, it pays to play around with stuff like that. And these are going to be really good this year. I'm going to pick some up when we go to probably Sioux Falls. So that's our baits. We've spent probably more than you guys wanted to hear about that.
Let's get, there's new comments that we're not seeing because we're like stuck back. Oh yeah, everyone's saying gold. Yeah, the disco ball. Oh yeah. Looking forward to the shrimp. Oh yeah, on a dead stick. Yep. Extreme Plastics, and you're all set, right, Josh? Yeah. Or IJO Plastics.
Honestly, Brian, I really like Extreme Plastics. IJO Plastics makes some great stuff. I cannot stress enough to each and every one of you, find a hand pourer. Doesn't matter who it is. What I prefer is Extreme Plastics. John makes some really great stuff. Emily really likes Kevin Clancy's stuff over at IJO Plastics. They're both a little different. They're both very similar. But what I'll tell you, if you're a panfish angler, if you're not using hand pourers, at least having a few packs in your arsenal, you're doing yourself an injustice, because they're just so much better performing at that scale. When you have such a small bait and you need all of the little legs and the little tails and even the body in some instances to move, the big box stores just can't. They're unable to produce that type of movement in a production setting because of the type of plastics. And we learned this over the last 3 years because we started playing around with some hand pouring just to figure out, what we liked so we could pass that on to people that we work with and that we talk to and you guys. And what we found out is that it really is like that much of a difference. It really solidifies your confidence in that plastic baits when they work so well. And there is times like we got skunked yesterday. We went out for an hour and a half and we didn't catch any fish. We had some follows. We found a few fish. They just weren't hungry. And maybe if we would have had some minnows, or maybe if we would have had some waxworms or something, who knows? But
I don't even think so. I put the Aqua-Vu down there. I don't even think so, guys.
For the number of times that happens to me, I will take that one day out of like 120 days. Mm-hmm. It just is what it is. So do we what else?
Other things from the top. There's a funny comment that Eric had asked, what's up with us and Otter? Okay.
Well, can we do the hand warmer thing quick?
Fine.
Okay.
BAC just for you.
Just for our buddy BAC.
Okay, this is a company, we don't work with them.
No.
Okay, honestly, I came across them at St. Paul one year, and that top left one is the old one that, click.
So they did some updating. So that's the Elements. I think that's the small one. So what you have would be the equivalent of this one. This is their new version of what you have.
Oh gosh. Oh, this is crazy. Okay. Yep, the FireCell Plus, Celestron FireCell is now I'm all thrown off because you're right. Like the website looks different. This is like crazy, but this is it. And I'm just only like flustered because I love this thing. Like if this were to ever go out of production, I would be like, oh my God. This little thing is a hand warmer. It's a flashlight. You can it's a phone charger, whatever you can plug into like a little USB port, it'll charge. It is a hand warmer, like on both sides, like the front and the back. But the thing about this is it warms up like super fast. Like, how a lot of times people will be like, oh, my hands are so cold that like a hand warmer, like I broke it. And it's like, no, like this thing will keep up with you. But the battery life on it, honestly, it lasts me like all day. And so, we talk about striker gear and it's so warm that they're coming out with lighter gear and like all that's great. But I'm the kind of person, I don't like to wear gloves because that gets in the way of just whatever I'm doing. And so I take this FireCell and like I said, because I don't wear a jacket. And so I put it in like the kangaroo pocket of my sweatshirt on the inside layer. And so when my hands get really cold, I can put my hands in there and warm up, but it does keep my core warm throughout the day. I found that I love it so much. Honestly, I probably have 2 or 3 of these around now.
Well, you have 2 and I have 1. And the reason I have 1 is for a very similar reason and a very similar application to what Emily does for fishing, but I use mine for bow hunting. So when we do have cold years here, I'll put it in my pouch of my jacket for bow hunting, and I'll put my hands in there, and it's almost like one of those muffs. It doesn't have any scent. It's electronic, so you don't have to worry about the lighter fluid. Ryan said that Zippo makes something like this. They do. We have like
they
3
don't.
of them.
There's nothing like this little device.
but they we have a couple of those, but this is just so much more handy, being that it is like a juice pack. You can plug your phone into it. It lasts for 12 hours with one side on, 6 hours with both sides on. So, I mean, like you said, we are not partners with these people. We don't work with them in any capacity. We just love this little thing.
How much are these?
$60. And you've had yours for way over 6 years. So that's $10 a year.
Ryan, you're the best.
And it's a great thing. They have other ones, they have in the line. And the funny thing is, like, they're a telescope, astronomy, microscope, like, and then they just happen to have these things, and they're awesome. But they have like the Mega, so it's just another warmer, but it has the flashlight, has the charge thing. This one just has resistant free
water
heat.
resistant.
Yeah.
Ooh.
So
Oh my gosh, I should say this. Okay, like 4 years ago or something,
Mhm.
5 years ago. Gosh, that's a long time ago now. I was in a situation where I fell through the ice, and I had one of these hand warmers. Is that a heated flashlight?
It's a heated flashlight.
That's crazy. But I had one of these hand warmers in my pocket
Right.
when I went in, and it was like literally so flooded that you could see water in like the flashlight of the hand warmer, and
Mhm.
we were able to just dry it out, and it literally still works to this day.
Yeah, it does. We are probably due for some updates, though. We should probably.
Yeah, we need
Take
like
a
a
look at this.
heated flashlight, apparently.
No, I don't know if we
No,
need
I
that.
I don't need that. I don't need that.
All right.
Okay, so I guess back to the question of what is up with us and Otter. I mean, I guess the first thing I will say is like nothing. I don't know, like what. Okay, so honestly, this is like where we started with Augers. It's like we are here to bring you like our honest opinion and experience, and it's not about what we didn't like about things, or I mean, sure, we'll share that with you if you ask us or whatever, but I mean, we're here to share like especially the good things. And so we have just loved like our Monster Lodge so much, like the camping, all of those different aspects. We upgraded to the pro version with the full door because I will tell you what, I don't care how mobile they make ice suits these days. I will continue to trip over that dang triangle door. Like it is ridiculous. So, I think we have, I don't know, just gone kind of this direction, and I think that they've recognized us. So we're able to work together kind of as a team now. We got to go and actually tour there earlier I was going to say this month. It was like a while ago now.
September.
But I think the tour is like a little bit like top secret. So we're going to have to find a way to bring some of that to you guys. But for right now, we can only share our experiences in being there and saying that it was awesome. And I cannot believe how much of it is just made right there in Minnesota. So it was really cool to go and see that.
Yeah, so for those of you that know Otter, you know what they tell you, all of their sleds are rotomolded. So what that really means is that they pour plastic pellets into this thing and it rotates, and then a sled pops out. Like it's heated, the plastic melts, and then the sled pops out as it rotates, and it does that, And we actually got to see some sleds being born. They come all like this, and then they pop them out open, and then there's like flashing on it, and they have to like cut all the flashing off, and then they stack it off to the side. All of the workers there were doing they were working super hard.
Well, and when Josh shows you with his hands, it's like so easy, like just pop it open. But it's like I'm telling you, these machines are like on the scale of obviously larger than this room, and they're making like a few of these sleds at the same time, and it just like the process is amazing. Mm-hmm. It's like a multi-floor thing. We're gonna have to find a way to bring this to you guys. I don't know how that'll be, but somehow.
So we decided that Emily had an arsenal of ice shacks.
It's true.
That would probably make our dear friend Larry Smith blush, because it was ridiculous for the number of shacks that two people had. So you guys have probably seen that we sold a bunch. It's not that we didn't like them.
We still have plenty of shacks.
We wanted to consolidate and just be more organized and be a little bit more matchy. And so
we got to our new house and we have an amazing amount of garage space, and we found out like how much of it we've already filled up, and we're like,
so we decided that we wanted 2 single person shacks and 2 hub shelters. And so we went and we got these XT hideouts, and they look pretty awesome. The numbers say that it's 12.6 square feet of fishable area. But I will caveat that by saying like it feels like a much bigger shack because it's so tall and it's
long.
long. And when you think about it, that's almost what you need, because you need enough room to set a hook and you need enough room for your rod to be pointed away from you. And so being wider like gives you a little bit more room just for room's sake, but it doesn't necessarily give you the length for some of those, 36 or 38-inch ice rods. And this does. And so it fishes a lot. I haven't fished out of mine yet. I've sat in them before, but
No, we got them this fall. There has not been ice yet.
I will say we were sitting in them, and it just
In the driveway.
feels a lot bigger than the numbers look like. So just keep that in mind. If you're looking for a single person, just check it out. It's built just like all the other Otter stuff, and I really like this area here.
Oh, and I was so nervous
for your legs. I thought it was going to be awkward.
Yeah,
it's really nice having the little trays on the side that you don't have to like mount anything to or anything like that. It's very well thought out, and I am really excited to use that. And then they decided that if you find something good, and the industry has found something good, just go for it. And so instead of offering all of the different hubs, they decided we're going to put all of our eggs into this open door basket. And so that's what they did.
Every shack comes that way now.
Yep. Every hub that they sell comes this way now. So this is what you get. And I couldn't say enough about it. It's just as big as our other Pro Lodge.
Well, honestly, it like oddly feels bigger, but they swear that it's not, but it feels bigger. I don't know. I swear that door, I don't know.
I just like it. And I look forward to, maybe getting one of the little baby ones.
Oh, wow. Because we've already set it up. Like we said, in the driveway. Honestly, we were so excited. We came home, threw it on up. It was exactly the same process as with the other triangle door.
Ryan, that's a really good point, and I think part of the price comes with that the where and how they're built. And I think that being able to go to the factory and in Maple Lake, Minnesota, and see something being made that I use, like it just.
The other thing, I don't mean to cut you off, but there is another huge factor here is like the fabric is made different than any other shack out there, because the layering system of the insulation are these the right words? They like told us a super scientific definition. It is actually a multi-layer technology, and because whenever you have.
So she's talking about the Thermaltech triple layer insulated shell. Yeah. And so it's the only shell that is free floating. So it's a one-piece free floating shell. So it reduces the amount of pinholes because they're not having to fuse the insulation to the outside shell. Yes. Yes. So what that means is that not only do you get the insulation, but you get the airspace. And so the airspace is very important because that's also insulating. And so these things do add up in price. But it's an investment, right? It's not something that you're looking to replace every year. Like, yeah, I can go find a $150 two-person flip over, and that's fine. It'll work. It'll work for the year. It'll probably work for 10 years, but it may not perform the same. It may not hold up the same way. It may be usable yet, but maybe the canvas breaks down, or maybe, the poles don't stay straight, or just little things that will start to annoy you when you start to move into the realm of like buying things that you don't have to work on all the time, I mean, that's why there's enough things to work for everybody, right? And so I was one of those guys. I'm not going to spend, you know, this is the wrong shack to be talking about because that's way too big of anything that I would ever
That's
buy.
not what we're even using. Maybe you are, not me.
But this like $800, like as somebody that was working, that you know, that works at a job that like 11 years ago, I started at $11 an hour. I'm not going to spend $800 on an ice shack, you know. But as you can save up and afford for these things, like I found that I'm spending less time fixing my stuff as I save up and I get to purchase things, you know, the more things that I get that are quality, the less time I'm doing fixing, the more time I'm doing enjoying the things that I buy. And so, and I don't have to rebuy them over and over and do the research.
That's why we ended up with
process and-
so many darn shacks.
right. So yes, there is that factor in it. They aren't for everybody, but that's okay.
Yeah.
It does not matter. They work for us, and that's all that we're here to say, is they work for us. Okay, so Eric, hope you're still there. That's what's up with Otter. They have some new stuff. Check it out. Actually, one more thing that I want to talk about, because we really like ours and they added a new thing. So, first thing, quick, Sidekick fits over the bucket. Oh, come on. We don't need a 3D view. You need that view. Fits over a bucket, has some rod holders, has your little drinks. You can set it in between two people. You can put your little boxes. You can put baits. You can put drinks. Awesome little accessory. Love it. Definitely worth the $50. We use it almost every time we go camping. I'm almost ready to buy another one just because, you know, it just is that useful. It fits in their flip over shacks on the rail, so it fits in there. It's super useful. Has the rod holders for the Otter rod holders. Love it. So that thing is cool. But they also added this. Come on. So that goes on. So that can attach to that or a bucket. And so this thing is pretty awesome. If you need something that just is, you know, you don't need a seat full time, but you need to add that extra, you know, this extra seat in, you know, your bigger one person. You want to make it a two person for the day. That's perfect. And
bring your kid, bring your buddy, bring your, you know, your wife. Whoever.
We should get one of these for our boat because we only have 2 seats for the boat.
Get one for our dog.
No. But no, that was a really cool new thing this year. Just wanted to mention that quick. That's it. That's all I got to say about that.
Oh my gosh.
What else do we got?
At one point, I think it was Ryan asked if we were going to be in, St. Paul in December. And I feel like it's early this year. It's not. It's always that first weekend. It just comes right away after Thanksgiving. And we are going to be there. Actually, we are always at, I always say like the second floor, but it's like the first and a half floor, because if you've been to St. Paul, there's like that big main floor, and then like up the ramp is like the second floor, and there's a ton of stuff back there. But one of the first booths that you come across is Up North Sports. And that is first of all where we'll be. So come and say hello to us. But they have a huge selection of striker gear. So I know a lot of times on that first floor, it's hard to try things on and the aisles are cramped and all of that. But we have space paved and provided and ready to go with all the different products. So we can pull that and show that and talk about that with all of you. And they have tons of other stuff in the Up North Sports booth, so definitely check that out. But I'm getting distracted by all this Lakewood stuff. So yeah, I mean, the answer to the question is yes, we will be in St. Paul and could not be more excited.
I can't wait. I love St. Paul. I love it so much that we're going to try and imitate it next year at the Wisconsin Ice Fishing Expo the weekend after on 2023, December 8th, I think is the weekend. So don't forget about that. And don't worry, we won't let you forget about that because I'm super excited about that. Wisconsin needs an ice fishing show. Okay, so not a whole lot new, but for those of you
well, there's a lot of new because the shipping issues and some stuff came late, like the vaults in 3 sizes. Like we talked about that a smidge last year, but that's still pretty new to a lot of people.
That's what I'm getting to. But here, you tell them 3 sizes. We'll start there. You go. Ready, go.
Oh, that's what I was going to say. I mean, I just like this thing a lot, but I think that's the thing is a lot of people do because it's a super portable little unit, carrying case, whatever you want to call it. Gosh, but it speaks for itself. I mean, it carries all it, but it comes in 3 sizes. So no matter what you're fishing for, if you have little tiny spoons for panfish or whatever, there's a shorter size for that. If you have bigger baits that you're trying to store, they all will hang in there. And then the nice thing is when you zip it all closed and none of those baits are going to come off those hooks. And it sounds crazy, but you could like throw that around, knock it around in your sled, no matter what you're doing, flying out to your spot and back. And that case will open up just the way that you organized it.
Yeah. Love it.
It does also have a mesh bottom on it. So I'm not sure, like if you're watching on your phone and that's really small, that's probably hard to see. But the mesh bottom is actually really great because then it allows all of those different jigs to air out. You're not getting any rusting. Your jigs, you're just not, there, no moisture is building up. It's awesome.
Mm-hmm. Yep. And so we'll move from the vault over to the Big Daddy, the greenback. And so the reason why we're moving that way is because right here, the vault fits in there. So you can oh, I don't need that. I'm already signed up. So you can put the vault inside. You can put a couple extra lure wallets or whatever, but then have all your rods. That's all in one. It's a big case. Don't get me wrong. It's a big case. Oh, dang it. Well, that's Sarah. But for the back of a sled or a wheeler, it's like
perfect.
None of your stuff is rustling around. Lifetime warranty. Made in Green Bay. Doesn't get any better than that. Yeah.
Jacob was asking, where is the Wisconsin Ice Fishing Expo going to be held? And Ryan, you are so right. It is going to be in Oshkosh. Super excited for that.
One other thing that I've really enjoyed using all summer, I can't wait for the winter time, is the little mesh lure pouches. I can stuff so many plastics in there and I just carry them around. It's awesome. I love those things. There's not much to say about it. It has a zipper. They're made of pretty durable mesh. Has the Velcro on it. You can put the little, there's a little label guy right there. So, I don't know. They're pretty awesome. Like them. Yeah. I don't know.
That's the problem is there's so many awesome things still to be talking about. And I'm noticing that we're like already at an hour here. It's like amazing how much time you can spend talking about all this. So if anybody else has any more burning questions, make sure to get that in the comment box. We'll still take a few minutes and answer those things. And I'm enjoying watching Josh scroll through all of this different stuff because it gives me ideas of what he wants for Christmas, I guess.
What I want for Christmas.
What are you looking for?
The price, but it says $119 for all of them, for like all sizes. I don't think that's right. Is it?
Yeah, I bet it is.
Well, let's see.
I mean, that's the thing
Yeah.
about a local made company is like all the
$1.19 for the
inserts are
box.
made in the same process, just cut to a different size. All of that stitching is literally stitched right near Green Bay, Wisconsin. Like there's people that work there and they put these soft-sided hard cases together for you. And
Yeah.
so, I mean, that's kind of one of the nice things about
Disco in
that's
here.
kind of one of the nice things about it though is they are able to offer a really great price. So even if you're going and looking for something to hold, your musky lures, you're not I don't know, it's just they're a great local company that's there to do good stuff for you.
Mm-hmm.
BAC, are we going to the Madison meet and greet together? Yeah, the Ice Junkies meet and greet. Yeah, probably. I just have to find out when and how we're going to make all that transportation work. So I haven't forgotten about you.
Message
Honestly,
Call her.
Don't Facebook message me right
No,
now because I
call
have a
her.
few to catch up on, and
Don't call her right now. though.
I
We're
will
wrapping
get
up.
back to all my messages. I'm we didn't even make a background from last weekend, guys. I'm saying like it's all been crazy.
Yeah. Yep.
Oh my gosh.
Oh man, an hour. Time flies.
Yeah, that's true. So, I mean, I think that's a nice thing though, is we are going to these expos and we're going to bring you live videos and stuff like we always do. And I mean, I know that there's quite a few different outlets that are doing that these days. So, we appreciate that you're joining us here and let us know what you want to see if there's anything specific. Otherwise, we use our best judgment and try to bring you as much as possible.
Yeah, and thanks for being with us tonight. We're working on getting those guests that you listed last week. And as always, if you have anybody that you want to see on the show, just send Crappie Junction a message. We'll be happy to venture into those questions in the comments and try and get whoever you guys want to see us talk to, and they can make fun of us or we can poke fun at them. Whatever we do here. Learn some stuff, have some fun, do some things.
So I guess with that,
What?
I didn't even bring this up to you first.
Well, by all means.
No, I don't know. Are we traveling next Thursday or are we doing a show? We're going to have to let you know because that's a good point. We're all here talking about Sioux Falls and these expos, and we have to figure out like what and when and where our travel day is. So we'll let you know. Maybe if we cannot do a show on Thursday, maybe we secretly do it Wednesday. Maybe, who knows? Let us know. Let us know what you guys think.
Well, follow on Facebook, subscribe on YouTube, and if we set one up, you'll know about it. So we'll try and have a decision made by probably Monday.
Oh yeah.
And I'll try and get something posted. I was a little bit late this week. I posted yesterday, so I'm gonna start trying to post them by Monday so that you get plenty of notifications. But yeah, Danny, you're more than welcome. Please come back anytime. Hopefully, we'll have more things to teach you.
Awesome. Well, I guess if we don't see you here next week, then hopefully we see you at the expo or out on the ice.
Night, everybody.